Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of your Frederish podcast. My name's Gary, and today we're going to talk about life after death. More specifically, what do the existing and more the existing most preeminent religions around the world say about this topic specifically. Some of them are categoric about saying that yes, there is life after death, and it's going to be a big reward for things we've done here in this world and this life. And others are a little more vague, I would say, lacking or asking for some more interpretation from the believers of that religion or students in general um, of that religion, of that religious philosophy. Well, as you can see in the very beginning of it, this is a very complex and a little bit controversial topic. But as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, the main purpose of this podcast is having you listening to English conversation, no matter exactly the topic. Of course, it is also my personal intention for you to reflect, aside from improving your English listening skills, but also in also your vocabulary, getting to learn new words and expressions, and getting better at English ultimately. But other than that, I would really like, as I was saying, this is my personal intent that you get to reflect a little more, and despite of no matter what religion you think or no religion you think is the best option for your life. But me personally, I believe that all religions have their importance, except for bad ones, indisputably bad ones, of course, right? But other than that, religions that exist after many years and have proved itself over and over the centuries, they must be respected and they must be studied and analyzed, again, respectfully. And most of all, people, the believers, the people who follow that religion must be respected, of course, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all people. We're all the same thing. Okay. But I would really like you to reflect on these words and to think about this topic, because it's not only about what happens after our eyes are closed forever in this planet on this planet, but also like what can we do today to have a better passage, if that makes any sense to you. But it will. Okay, so go grab your cup of coffee, tea. It's a rainy and chilly Monday, so I wouldn't recommend you, if you're listening to this episode today, to go grab a cup of soda or juice. Okay, but again, up to you. Okay, go grab whatever it takes for you to relax, sit down, cozy up, and come with me for this discussion. As I most likely said before, I grew up in a very religious family. I mean, not very. It's kind of a it varies from scenario to scenario, to situation from situation. Okay, it's a I forgot the term right now, but it depends. It changes from one point of view to other point of view. But I would say that let me put it as a considerably religious family. Okay, Catholic in my upbringing. I again probably said that before, and then as the years went by, some of the members of my family became Protestant, became evangelicals. But nothing changed much in terms of the conversations we would have at home, and we still do every time I go visit my family. Religion is one very important topic. Okay, there are some pretty interesting discussions, sometimes even arguments. For those of you who don't know the difference, discussion is we in Portuguese we use it the differently a little bit. For us, discussion is a negative thing, right? Okay, it can be positive, but it tends to, when we say two people had a discussion, in Portuguese, translating directly, you will understand that they had a fallen down, like they had a bad time. They screamed at each other. It was a negative experience, right? That's what we think. But in English, there's no such thing when you say discussion. Discussion is always positive, okay? It's discussing ideas. When we want to bring this discussion, quote unquote, to a more negative connotation, we say argument, okay? Which is the very same word for argumento, right? So, okay, argument can be positive, but when we say that some people argued about something or had an argument, it necessarily means that they had a spirited discussion or a negative one, that they both got irritated, or that's it. You got my point. So that's it. Often and most times we get together to celebrate something. Someone will approach some religious topic. Of course, today's topic isn't something on the table to be discussed in a religious family, because this is, for religious people, is indisputable, right? We all believe that, and but me as an independent thinker, I like to put it this way. I don't mean to be cocky or anything about it, but okay. I kind of question that. Not that I don't believe it, but I like to put it all in perspective and try to make sense of it all. Okay, if that makes any sense, by the way. But try to figure out exactly, okay, we live after we die. So what are we exactly? Certainly not this body, this gathering of carbon atoms, basically, right? So there's certainly something inside of us, that is our spirit. Okay, and again, here most religions will agree that we have a spirit. I mean, more than that we not only have a spirit, but we are one. We are a spirit. That's our real our real essence. All right. But my point here of questioning is that the main religions don't point it exactly this way. Okay, when I say the main religions, I mean Christianity, Islam, and Christianity and Judaism. Okay, all right. Because although in these religions, I'm gonna talk more about Christianity, which is the religion I grew up in. Okay, so I don't mean to be unfair or say anything wrong, but I have the impression that the other two mentioned go on a pretty similar way when it comes to this specific topic, this specific point, that is the life after death. All right, the fact that we are spirit, okay, spirits. Christianity in general doesn't venture much beyond the Bible. Okay, and truth of the matter is that the Bible does not say much about the other side. All right, we don't have like material to think, to know exactly, to say, hey, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that. So lots of theories inside Christianity come up. Okay, I'll give you one very objective example, which is stage for many discussions and sometimes arguments in my family, my very family. That is the thing, like, what is it gonna be on the other side, in heaven, when we come to realize, considering the salvation of the soul principle, that some of our beloved ones, or some of our children or parents or uncles, whatever, aren't with us in heaven, probably because they're in hell. All right. What is it going to be? Because the Bible, in multiple situations, points that it's going to be eternal joy, eternal happiness. But how can you be happy if you know that someone you love is lost forever? Yeah, yeah, you got my point, right? That's a hard one. That's a. Some of them say that we're gonna forget, our memories will be erased. Okay, um, yeah, man, this is the most common answer we get from Christians in general. Which I am not quite sure if I believe or if I think it makes much sense. All right. But I don't want to get into the. Oh, I can get into the hell slash heaven perspective, since it's all related to the life after death topic, isn't it? Okay, before I get to this controversial topic, hell versus hell and heaven perspective, let me get to the. Let me try to summarize the main religions. And here I will include Buddhism. Okay, I didn't mention before. Their perspective of life after death. Okay, Christianity in general understands that once we die, we go. Some of them believe we go. It happens immediately. Some of them believes it happens after some time. Some cases even millennials. 1,000 years or whenever Jesus comes back. But like eventually, when we close our eyes, we will wake up for the judgment day. Okay, the day or the period, whatever it is, how long it is, it will take, where everyone's going to be judged and sent to their final destination, that is heaven or hell. Okay, or a very positive place without suffering, or a very negative place without joy or happiness. Okay, so yeah, considering this, that's pretty interesting and interesting form to summarize the Christian belief of life after death. Of course, I didn't get into details. I don't mean to be simplicist here about it. But that's the idea, to save us some time here. All right. Please let me know your comments below if there's anything interesting to or important that I failed to mention here. Just let me know, okay? Okay. As far as I understand, I don't understand much of Islam, okay? But I understand that it goes in a pretty similar understanding. Like when we die, eventually we will wake up to the judgment day. And then we will be sent to our final destination. Of course, the difference is that they have some specifics about heaven that we don't. I mean, we do have some specifics, right? But they have some extra ones, okay? The most common, the most known one is the seven virgin to every man. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to be disrespectful here, but it's kind of funny. Maybe true. I don't know. Once I die, I will figure this out. But yeah, this is like, I would put the most difference between Christians and Muslims as far as this specific topic is concerned. All right, but pretty much the same, isn't it? All right, Judaism. I really believe that they have a very similar understanding. That is like exactly the same thing. We die, we open our eyes eventually. We are judged and we are sent to a very good place or a very bad place. While the Eastern religions like Buddhism, like Hinduism, they don't really have a punishment, a supreme punishment understanding, or a supreme comfort. All right, there's a much more going and returning understanding, like going and returning to life. All right, going and returning to life over and over again to make, to right the wrongs, as they say. All right, right, RIGHT. Okay, to right the wrongs, to make better, to make correct actions over wrong actions. I think that it gets much clearer this way, doesn't it? Anyways, so here is a disruptional. I don't know if that word even makes any sense here, but disruptive, a difference. Again, I don't know if this word makes any sense here, but this is a fundamental diversion, okay, between Eastern and Western religions. All right, to simplify, to summarize the difference, Eastern religions don't believe in eternal suffering, okay, and Western religions do believe in eternal suffering, okay? And it's not like the Eastern religions do not believe in eternal happiness. They do, but they don't believe that they come after one life, all right? And me specifically, guys, if you want to know my opinion, on this specific subject, I go much more with the Eastern guys. I really believe reincarnation makes lots of sense. Okay, in the Western civilization, we have some small religions that go with this understanding. Here in Brazil, there's a considerable amount of them, like Umbanda, like Spiritism, Allan Kardec, Spiritism, and others, of course. But they're much smaller. They're way smaller than Catholicism, evangelicals, etc., etc. Not only in Brazil, but in the Western civilization in general. Okay, but they do, right? They exist. They do exist. All right, and I really believe that this makes more sense because, well, for me specifically, guys, you don't have to agree with me. I totally accept that you guys tell me you think differently and point out the inconsistencies of my understanding. But I really don't believe that eternal suffering makes any sense. No matter how bad you were in this life, eternal suffering will never cut it. Say, for example, let's take Adolf Hitler. He lived for about 50 years on this earth, all right? Very evil, had a very evil thought, and was a very bad person. But it would be an exaggeration to say that there were 50 years of wrongdoing, basically. Let's put it this way, right? Why do I say that without even living, without even being there? Of course, I say that because it's 1/3 of our life is sleeping, right? How can someone be bad sleeping? Even Adolf Hitler, It's kind of funny, guys, but that's it, So let's take 1/3 off, okay? And let's consider that his waking hours, this is a very interesting expression in English, his waking hours, the hours that he was not asleep, he was bad all the time, which I tend to believe is an exaggeration. I would put it like he was bad 70% of his waking hours, or 80%, but not like at some point he was kind to someone, his family, friends, I don't know. I'm theorizing here, but let's put it that he was 100%. So we have 1/3 of 50 years. Math is not my forte, guys, as you guys know, but let's put it 35 years, 37 years, okay, of suffering. That would be a fair, looking at this perspective, suffering period, like, or even let's multiply it by everyone that was a victim of his cruelty. All right. So okay, millions of years in this specifically, but not the eternity. Okay, when we talk about a million years, it's not forever. Okay, this is my point specifically. So I don't really think, I'm not talking about Adolf Hitler, for Christ's sake, let alone you, me, Mr. John, the baker, around the corner. So I don't really think it's fair. I don't want to be disrespectful here. If you believe that, that's fine. Just let me know your thoughts, if possible, here on the comment section. But that's, putting it on a nutshell. In a nutshell, that's the way I think about it. Okay, but here's the thing: all religions point out that our life continues on the other side, and this is the main point. I would like to read a summary of the main points related to life after death in religions, courtesy by ChatGPT. I'd like you to come with me and let us see what are the main topics, and I will make a few comments about them. Let's go. All right, so let's start reading it. It's a summary of the main topics. Okay, some of them I've already talked about, so I'm going to go quickly over it just for it to be recorded here, just for the record. Okay, and at some of them I will drop my own comments here. Okay. Religious perspectives. Christianity, about life after death, of course. Christianity, believe in heaven and hell. Souls are judged by God and sent to either eternal reward or punishment. Islam, belief in afterlife where individuals are judged by Allah, God, and sent to paradise or hell. Pretty much the same thing. In Hinduism, belief in reincarnation where the soul is reborn in a new body. Karma influences the circumstances of each rebirth. Buddhism also believes in reincarnation and the cycle of samsara, birth, death, rebirth. The goal is to attain nirvana, a state of liberation from this cycle. Judaism beliefs vary, but many Jews believe in an afterlife, including concepts of the world to come and resurrection. That's an interesting point. I didn't really know about it. Second main point of life after death beliefs: philosophical and cultural views. Ancient Greek philosophy, Socrates, Plato, and other philosophers speculated about the soul and the afterlife. Plato believed in the immortality of the soul and its journey out to the world of forms. Secular and humanist views. Many secularists and humanists do not believe in an afterlife. They emphasize making the most of the one life we have. Point number 3, near-death experiences, NDEs. Reports of NDEs often include common elements such as moving through a tunnel, encountering a bright light, or experiencing a life review. These experiences are sometimes cited as evidences of an afterlife. 4. Scientific perspectives. Modern science generally approaches life after death beliefs with skepticism, emphasizing the lack of empirical evidence. Studies of NDEs, near-death experiences, often explore neurological and psychological explanations. Yeah, science doesn't really believe in life after death. Of course, it's a fact that there's no proof or even evidences of or such things, scientifically speaking, right? So they're right according to their methods. 5. Cultural practices. Many cultures have rituals and practices related to death and the afterlife, such as funerals, ancestors worship, and the creation of tombs and memorials. 6. Ethical implications. Beliefs about the afterlife often influence ethical behaviors and moral decision-making. The promise of reward or punishment after death can motivate individuals to adhere to certain moral codes. Yeah, that's so true, guys. This is I would say that bringing it to a more practical side of it. I think that this is by far the most important thing of believing in life after death. Like, so you try to be a better person. Like, if I feel like hurting someone, harming someone, I will think twice, because I will somehow, if I'm in Brazil, I will think about hell, and if I am in India, I will think of karma. Okay, and will think twice before I do anything bad. So yeah, this is a practical importance of religions, of believing of life after death belief, no matter, even if you don't believe in God, right? Okay. 7. Personal and existential questions. Beliefs about life after death can impact personal identity, purpose, and the meaning of life. These beliefs often provide comfort in the face of mortality and loss. Yeah, very interesting. We can reflect, and we have reflected, indeed, in most of them, in the principles here. But I would like to leave a final comment that we have to understand that we live in a universe that once was created, okay, doing taking all the logic we have in our planet. Things are created, things don't always exist, right? So if it was created, it was most likely created inside a purpose. All right. And if there is a purpose, there is a mind, or there are minds, conscious minds, conscious deities, conscious entities behind it. All right. And by doing this connection, I can help but think, what do these beings want from us? Okay. The chances that the moral code we have in all religions of the world, that is, be a good person, do not hurt other people, try to be a better person, not only a good person, but try to be a better person every day. I think that this is certainly what we need to do and be, in order to do what whoever made us in the first place, or made the universe, that made lots of explosions that finally got into us. So I think that this is the main purpose. Otherwise, the chances of we not even existing would be great, in my opinion. Okay, so no matter if you don't believe in any of these things, I think that it should be crystal clear for you that being a good person to others and to yourself too, is good, is the most intelligent thing you do. You will only get benefits from it. If you manage to maintain this balance, in a balance. All right. So you should do it. You should do it. Oh, I don't believe in God. That's fine. Believe in love. Believe in good things. Believe in becoming a better version of yourself. All right. Believe in understanding other people as your partners in existence. Okay. And try to do to them what you wanted people to do to you. All right. And you see how things will get much, much better for you in your life. And this is it for this episode. Thank you so very much for your lovely company. I see you in the next one. Bye-bye.